Hello, everyone. I am Joe Black, Health Equity Officer for the Sisters of Charity Foundation.
Hi all, I'm Adrienne Mundorf, Vice President of Programs and Strategy at the Sisters of Charity Foundation of Cleveland.
And I am Carol Malone, member of the Community Review Team for the Good Samaritan Grants. We want to take a moment to walk you through the details of the Good Samaritan Grants program here at the Foundation. All of these instructions and guidelines can be found on our website at socfcleveland.org/grantmaking.
Since the Sisters of Charity Foundation of Cleveland was established in 1996, the Good Samaritan Grants Program has been an important part of our grant making. The majority of our foundation's grants each year are given through an invitation process aligned with our strategic goals. Independent of these grants, Good Samaritan grants allow for organizations across the county to access modest funds that can make a big difference when it comes to basic needs. As the global crises continue and poverty conditions pervade in the areas we serve, we have shifted our Good Samaritan processes to best respond to the needs of the community. Since 2020, we have made program adjustments to ensure funds are given more rapidly to quickly offer resources to those in need. Inspired by the parable of Jesus calling us to be good neighbors, the program expresses the important value of the Sisters of Charity of St. Augustine of respecting the dignity of every individual.
Funding priorities grant requests are for $5,000 and partial funding is not awarded. In this competitive program, funding requests always exceed the grant program budget. To respond to the immediate inequities and disinvestment in neighborhoods where sisters have served for more than a century, the Good Sam program prioritizes smaller, Black-led organizations. Priority is also given to those organizations with annual budgets under $1 million and based in or serving Cleveland's central neighborhood, though organizations serving other areas should still apply. Please note that the Good Samaritan Grants Program does not fund operational expenses or needs. This responsive program is centered on basic needs, which are traditionally defined as food, clothing, emergency shelter, and transportation to access services. As we have learned studying the social determinants of health, we also recognize the basic needs for utilities and hygiene products, identification, stipends, and short-term medications and/or medical supplies. We also consider support of physical and mental well-being, self-sufficiency relationships, and social connection, internet access, and flexible financial assistance as essential to the well-being of our community.
Let's talk a bit about timelines. In previous years, applications were reviewed on a rolling basis. This process might create undue urgency and competition among applicants to apply early. Sometimes deserving organizations would not have capacity to apply until funding had already run out. Now, applications will remain open on a rolling basis, but will be reviewed on a specific timeline, ensuring that all reviews occur together. While there is still a limited amount of funding to distribute, organizations can worry less about their capacity to apply quickly. To be considered for funding in September, applicants must have been submitted by July 1st. To be considered for funding in December, applications must have been submitted by October 1st. To be considered for funding in March, applications must have been submitted by January 1st. Applicants are asked to provide a brief project narrative. This should include project goal, key activities, and how the project meets an immediate need. Information on the relationship between the organization and the target population. For example, do you work directly with community members, through an advocacy group, with a third party, etc. The project budget and information about the organization's budget and expenses for the current year. We also ask for demographic information about each organization's board of directors, leadership team, staff, and estimated population served. We collect this data so that we may better understand how our grant funds are distributed and the population served by the grant program throughout the community. This information is optional to provide, but recommended as we learn how best to meet the needs of the community. Once you've submitted your application, it is reviewed by a small group of local residents and community leaders. Their partnership helps our foundation gain a better understanding of some of the most pressing needs in the community. The community review team then submits their recommendations to a committee of foundation board members who asks any remaining questions and sign off on their approved grants. Applicants will receive written notification on their request within 90 days of the application deadline. It is important to note that this is a competitive grant process. If a grant application is denied, it is because there are not enough funds to support all applicants. It does not minimize the value of an organization's work or make them less deserving of future funds. We encourage you to consider reapplying the following calendar year. If you have specific needs and questions, contact me at jblack@socfcleveland.org. All these instructions and guidelines can be found on our website at socfcleveland.org/grantmaking. Thank you.